When most people think of a Catholic priest, they think of someone like this guy, wearing a black collar and serving in a parish. And they'd be right the majority of the time. But I'm a priest, and I have never, nor will ever, wear one of those things. No offense. The reason for this is because there are actually two different types of priests in the Catholic Church: secular or diocesan priests and religious priests like me. What are the differences, and why is our church better off with both? This is Catholicism in Focus. Strictly speaking, this question can be boiled down to a very simple, very technical point. Who has direct authority over the priest? In the Catholic Church, we are not big on rogue priests. Someone has to be giving orders. While every priest, and really all the faithful for that matter, must obey the authority of the bishop in the diocese where they live, diocesan priests have a special relationship with the local bishop, as he is the one who acts as their direct superior. When one becomes a diocesan priest, they make a promise of obedience to a bishop to serve the needs of that bishop in his diocese. This means that the bishop has a responsibility to assign the priest work, and the priest must accept whatever obedience he's given. Since the bishop only has authority over his diocese, and the majority of institutions run by the diocese are parishes, this means that diocesan priests spend most of their lives working at parishes within the diocesan boundaries. While special assignments such as teaching in a seminary or becoming a missionary are possible, these are rare. Religious priests are quite different. Rather than joining a diocese and serving at the will of a bishop, we join religious orders, serving at the will of the brotherhood and its elected minister called a provincial or abbot. In addition to the promises that all priests make to be obedient to the local bishop, to pray the office, and imitate Jesus, among other things, religious priests additionally make 3 vows to their superior, committing their life to poverty, chastity, and obedience in the way of their founder. This has tremendous implications for every aspect of our lives. For one, it means that religious priests are committed to a way of life, not necessarily a diocese. The provincial, who has no diocese of his own, makes relationships with bishops around a region or world and requests that his priest be assigned within a diocese. Meaning that our relationship with the local bishop is quite different than secular priests. While we must show him respect, of course, and he can refuse to welcome a religious priest into his diocese, he doesn't actually have the authority to determine where or how we live. It's the provincial, not the bishop, who is responsible for the spiritual welfare, assignment, discipline, and retirement of his priests. The bishop simply allows them to work and reside in agreed-upon ways. Maybe most significantly, this means that most religious priests do not remain in the same diocese all their life, but are assigned to any number of places around the world, and are far more likely to be assigned to a mission outside of a parish than diocesan priests. While it's not uncommon for religious priests to help or even pastor churches, the work of the provincial is not to maintain the diocesan structures, but to progress the charism of the order. Schools, universities, hospitals, retreat centers, and institutions of direct service to the poor are just as likely assignments for a religious priest as a parish is. And if all of that sounds complicated, just think of it in business terms. Diocesan priests are permanent employees of a diocese, while religious priests are independent contractors. Of course, the difference between the two is far more than legal distinctions of authority and assignment. There are also major differences in approach and spirituality. Looking again at the question of authority, there is a huge difference in the way diocesan and religious priests view obedience, given the relationship they have with their superiors. Diocesan priests serve a bishop, a man with the full authority of a diocese, whom they did not elect, may not even come from their own diocese, and will live the rest of his life in that position. Religious priests, on the other hand, serve a provincial, a man who may or may not even be ordained, is elected from among the brothers, and after a designated time in office, will return to the rank of everyone else. Trust me when I say that in general, provincials exercise their authority with much more collaboration and reservation than bishops do. When you know that your power is limited and relies on the happiness of the brothers, things are going to go a little different. Another distinction we might make between religious and diocesan priests is the way that we approach mission and work from a spiritual level. Diocesan priests, given their commitment to a diocese and near unanimous assignment to parishes, tend to emphasize the priestly aspect of Jesus' threefold ministry. They are the ones dedicated to the sacrifice, to the sacraments, to the day in and day out life of the church. In other words, they're the pastors, the ones you can rely on to always be there today, tomorrow, and 20 years from now. They put down roots and form long relationships, serving as the bedrock for the community of faith. This is not so for religious priests that come and go, who switch assignments and even careers. What guides us is not the sacramental life per se, but the charism and mission of our founder. In this way, religious priests tend to emphasize the prophetic aspect of Jesus' threefold ministry. What we lack in commitment to one place, we make up for in zeal and inspiration. Our hope is to light a fire, to offer a new perspective, to share the fruit of our religious life, and then to move on to the next place. Rather than being the pastor, we're the preacher. Sometimes with our lips, but always with our lives. This might mean exercising our priesthood through the Mass and sacraments, but it also might be lived out through teaching, caring for the poor, healing the sick, or building the kingdom of God. When we look at it this way, we might ask a question. Which one is better? Which do we need more of? In the end, it seems like a silly question. Surely a world with only pastors would become stagnant and familiar. Every once in a while, we need some new energy, new perspectives, a shot of life to energize us and to send us out. On the other hand, what a chaotic mess we'd be with only prophets and no one to administer the church. Someone needs to turn the lights on, plan for the future, and lay a foundation that will last. Which speaks, I think, to the beautiful diversity that our church offers. There may only be one God and one Lord, but there are so many different ways to imitate him, so many different facets of our faith worth emphasizing. Some people may be called to the stability of diocesan life, one that lends itself more towards institutions, regular sacramental life, and individual work, while others might be more inclined to the itinerancy of religious life, one that lends itself to creativity, adaptation, and communal living. It's all one priesthood, but there are different lives to be lived for sure. The church most certainly needs both, and I wonder if you might be called to one of them.